The MLC group has been tremendous for me as an executive director of the Harvest Center. I have to tell you, it would be very hard for me to imagine us navigating the waters of a strategic plan and sort of where our organization is without the help of the MLC group. They were able to come in at a pretty critical point in the life of our organization and really kind of help navigate us through some waters and really give some definition to the organization and where we were going. A lot of things that we sort of had in our head, and you know, the organization has been around for 20 plus years, but there had never been a strategic plan, and there had never really been an outside third party who really understood the type of organization, had a real love for the organization, and could really help us get some definition and clarity to what our vision and goal for the organization would be sort of long term. They've been fantastic.
When I first got to know the MLC group, I was serving as chairman of the board of the Harvest Center. And the Harvest Center was a ministry that it was a family-founded ministry that had been operating for over 20 years in a very small, somewhat fledgling ministry. And it needed some direction and it needed some structure. And if I hadn't met Melanie and Lee, and if we hadn't spent our time in strategic planning for the Harvest Center would still be where it was when I found it 5 years ago. The MLC group has given us a strategic plan. It's helped us outline our mission and our values and our core pillars. It's helped us get a strategic dashboard and a game plan to take to our board and our committees that will help us put into effect all of the vision that we've come up with.
MLC Group brings to the table a lot of qualities that help enable the process of strategic planning. Without a facilitator, you tend to wander. MLC Group keeps you focused, they keep enthusiasm in the process, and they make sure you get to where you're going. I'd recommend MLC Group to anybody who's looking to put some meat, if you will, around their strategic plan and make sure they end up with a product that everybody can enroll, engage, and pursue the goals of their organization.
The thing that surprised me about the process of the MLC group, I think, was really the way they took time to understand the organization, to really understand sort of the DNA of the organization. And as they were able to do that, they really walked us through sort of different stages to sort of get a finished product. So I think I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I'd been through some strategic planning with other nonprofits that I'd been involved in the past, but they were sort of like surgeons. And Lee and Melanie, their styles are different, but they really complement each other well. And so they walked the organization through a process that I thought was fantastic. To be sort of on the other side of it now, as we near the end of the strategic planning process, I'm just amazed at kind of where we are now, based on where we started. Our head was kind of in the fog initially, and now to come out on the other side to say, wow, that's us, it's been great.
I think before we met with the MLC group, the Harvest Center was lacking identity. We were serving and doing great things, but it was very hard to identify to other people in the community and other agencies who we were, what were our strongest points, what was our niche, and the MLC group helped us shape that.
Other organizations should consider working with the MLC group if they're looking for ways to move their organization forward. Maybe if they're kind of stuck, if they're sort of not certain about where they're going, if they're looking for some direction, if they might be a little bit rudderless, I think the MLC group would be a perfect resource for an organization that finds itself just kind of needing to get its way and to find its way a little bit.
The clarity MLC group brought to us was an understanding, a better understanding of who we are and what we want to be in the future. Quite often, an organization, especially a not-for-profit, as the Harvest Center is, tends to wander with its mission and gets pulled a lot of directions. The clarity they brought to us is to help us understand where we want to go so that we don't end up getting pulled in multiple directions, end up someplace we didn't intend to be. So with their help, this clarity gives us a very specific action plan and goal point for the organization.